So I would like to thank everybody for being here. I thank you for all of the gifts and all of the favorites in advance. During the show, my attention for the first half will be directly on Booyah Boy. Not hard to do that, right, ladies? So anyways, y'all, I like to give Booyah a hard time. He Right, Ari? Okay, thank you, Ari. Thank you. All right. You guys, look, I told him a long time ago. I was like, Booyah, you are one of my crushes. So he already is fully well aware that he gives me the Lily giggles and all that fun, goofy, weird shit, okay? We love the Booyah Boy over here. All the ladies love the Booyah Boy. Thank you, Jay. See, I told you. What did I tell you guys in the messages? That's the worst rule. I can't follow it. Oh, hi, Booyah. He's like, Lily, stop embarrassing me, please. All right, guys, we're going to let Jay in the box. We're going to get this introduction on the way. We're going to do our Q&Q and get Booyah in the box. All right, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome again. I want to thank you all for being here. I want to thank you in advance for gifts and favorites. And more importantly, I want to thank you for your time. That is the one thing you cannot get back or earn more of. Okay. Now, again, we have Booyah Boy and we have Lux. So per usual, me being sick all week and me just living my normal life, I'm a disaster anyways, but we're going to blame it on being sick this week. Okay. All right. So just follow along. You know, we weren't really sure what was going to happen, how today was going to go, but you know how usually and generally when you don't plan stuff and it kind of just falls into place, how those end up being like some of our favorite shows over here. Well, that's where we're at today. We've had Booyah on the show before. We had him in, it was when I did the 5 of you guys, right? And so it was a short stint. So I'm actually excited to get to know a little bit more about Booyah and how Booyah has become Booyah. And Lux, I do not know yet, but we're going to get to meet her. She seems like a sweetheart. She's adorable. And her story is, they're both motivational. They both came from a time in life, a situation that was meant to destroy them. But they, like the rest of us, and listen to me very carefully, okay? And I say this a lot over here, okay? They, like the rest of us, you, me, and every other mother trucker out there, okay, has survived 100% of the battles we have faced that were meant to destroy us, okay? 100%. We all have a 100% survival rate, y'all. 100%. It might not always be an easy journey, and we might get a few bumps and bruises along the way, right? But every single one of us have survived and lived to tell the stories today. So when y'all are feeling like you're falling apart and your world is crumbling and you don't know how you're going to get through it, just remember, we've been there before, and you survived it then, and you'll survive it again. Okay? Now, Q&Q. This one I like, and I like it a lot. And I hope you guys will give me some answers in the comments, okay? It says, she would be a new person, she vowed. They said no matter how far a mule travels, it can never come back a horse, but she would show them all. What would you like to tell the people you went to high school with? For me, it depends on who I'm talking about. Now, if we're talking to some of the people that bullied me, I would tell them thank you. I would tell them thank you. And you want to know why? Because without them, I wouldn't be who I am today. Mm-hmm. And just say thanks. I'm going to tell you right now, I have sat back and I have watched what karma did to my bullies. Way worse than anything I ever could have did. I don't think that, so Luxie, I don't think that you should ever have to apologize for leaving anybody like behind, right? Because people come and go. Some people are here for seasons. Some people are here for a short time. Some people are here for a little while. And very, very few people are here forever, right? So it's not that we need to apologize. You literally can't take everybody with you everywhere you go. You have to pick and choose. And if people aren't bringing you up and if people aren't pushing you to be a better version of you, they don't deserve you. You guys catch those words? If they're not helping you grow, they don't deserve you. Because when people genuinely care about people and people genuinely love people, they want to help people. They want to see people grow, right? They want to see people grow. Happy people, positive people, spread happy, positive vibes. Period. Booyah boy, are you ready? All right, guys. Wait, where'd you go? See, and that's it. The people that I was super close with for long periods of time, we could fall apart and be brought back together like nothing ever happened. And then go years without talking. And you know what I mean? We all have different points in our lives. You know, we get, some of them get married, we have kids, we get new jobs, we move, things change. Well, hello there, Booyah boy.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
Good. I know you're lying. I like that shirt.
Well, this is for this is my friend, top badge Jessica. If you guys don't know her, go hit her with a fave.
I
She's
do not.
amazing.
I do not. I'll have to check her out. We'll have to
Go
check
hit her
her
with a
out.
fave.
So, Booyah boy, thank you for coming back to be on the show a second time.
Yeah, this is well. Technically, this is the first time that I get to do the show
Like this.
you know what I mean. So last time we had a short little period of time to talk about some things, but here we are. Now we're gonna get the full
We get the
story.
real deal
Yeah.
now.
So yeah. So
So, yeah, what are we going to be talking about today, Booyah?
um the lesson I learned was just to be patient. Um Time really does fix everything. So let's see, about a year and a half ago, uh Booyah Boy was he was engaged. Okay. And so um some things happened. She lost her grandfather, who she was really close to. I ended up calling my job saying, "Hey, I'm not gonna be able to come to work tomorrow. Um, I got to be there for her." Well, they denied me and said, "Absolutely not. It's not your family. You got to be at work." Okay, fair enough. So I got up the next morning and I got up, got ready for work, about to walk out the door, and she woke up and she just starts bawling, right? And so at that point, obviously, I can't go nowhere, can't do it. So text my boss, say, hey, I can't leave her. Whatever we got to do, I'll take a write up, whatever, but I can't leave today. The next message I got was, okay, bring your keys, your badge, and your phone. You're fired. And that was it. So I lost my job, right? Um, 4 days later, her and I, we get into an argument and she kicks me out. The house was in her name, so she kicked me out, right? So in a 4 day period, I lost my job, I lost my fiance, I lost two kids that I helped raise for 5.5 years. Uh, house, the car I was driving was also in her name, so I lost a vehicle. So at that point, I thought I lost everything, right? A little bit of time goes by. I'm sitting in a hotel room with a gun in my mouth, and right when I felt like I could do it, right, my my phone goes off. It's just a notification, and the only thing that I saw, because my daughter is my screensaver, was my daughter looking at me. Like it was like right at that second, like it lit up. The room was dark, it lit up, and I just saw her staring at me, right? And so then I put it down and I fell asleep, right? A little bit of time goes by. Um, I I find out that a little bit later goes, a little bit of time goes by, and I find out later that she actually already had a new guy before she got rid of me, right? So everything that she was telling me wasn't the truth. She was actually getting rid of me to make room for somebody else. So stupid, I cut my wrist, cut it. And I guess I didn't go deep enough. And so patched it up, life goes on. A little bit more time goes by, and then I was like, you know what? I'm over this. I'm done. Like this is it. I'm done. So I take a bunch of pills and hoping to not wake up. So take a bunch of pills and I fall asleep. And the next day I woke up and it felt like nothing happened. Like there was no, I didn't feel any type of way, right? So I remember like the first thing me thinking was like, well, hell, that didn't work. And then after that, it was like, okay, like I give up. Like I'm done. Like obviously you want me to do something down here. I don't know what it is yet, but I quit. I give up. And so something clicked in that moment and I started to be more positive about things, right? So um, every morning, I mean, since that day to this morning, every day I wake up, I say thank you because it is a blessing to wake up each and every morning. Because during that time, I was like I cussed God smooth the out, right? So, and he could have easily just snapped his fingers and been like, okay, come on. But he keeps like pumping breath into me. So, finally I just gave up and was like, all right, we're going to do this. And And so, yeah, and I was also streaming during this time when I was going through all this. Um, and so having a support system, being able to talk to people about it helped out a lot too. But yeah, I just learned that, um, you know, if you just hang around for a minute, it's going to be okay. Like after every storm, there's always a rainbow. Like you're fine. So, that's what we had talked about when I did, the little 15-minute segment on your show. What would I tell my younger self? I wouldn't tell him anything about what he's about to go through because that way he learns. But I would tell him that it's going to be okay. Regardless of what happens, it's going to be all right. And so, I've learned to just hang in there. So, yeah.
Yeah, you weren't going anywhere, was you? You got a lot more to do down here, I think, huh?
I guess. And it's funny because, you know, I tell this story all the time. And I get messages from random people that, will click on my IG and they'll say, "Hey, I heard your story. And, I just want to let you know it, you know, touched me, or I'm going through the same things." And then at that point, it turns into, a little bit of a mini session because I have an open door policy. So if anybody's ever going through anything, they can always reach out, talk to me because I know what it's like to be in a very, very dark place. And it sucks. And sometimes people just want to be heard, even if it's for 5 minutes. Sometimes they just want to be heard, and little things like that help people.
I've learned sometimes it's not even that we don't need to listen to respond all the time. Sometimes we just listen to understand, or just listen to let them feel better. Let them get it off their chest. A problem shared is a problem cut in half, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I like that.
'Cause also when I was going through all this, um, I finally like seeked help for myself, right? So I went to this, a buddy of mine recommended going to, it's called Celebrate Recovery. It's
Okay.
kind of like AA, but it's Christian based.
Okay.
And what I went for was anxiety, anger, and depression. And you have this little, um, reading from scriptures, and then you break off into groups, and then you literally sit at a table in a circle, and you say, "Hi, my name is Booyah Boy. Um, I'm a firm believer in Jesus Christ," and then blah, right? And so the first couple weeks I went, I didn't say anything, like, because I felt like it was kind of stupid. And then, but I kept going back for whatever reason. Something kept telling me to keep going back, so I kept going back. Um, and then the first time I spoke, and I actually said what was going on in my life, it was like so nice to be able to talk, get it out, people hear it, and nobody give you any back talk, no advice. Um, the only thing they said was, "Thank you for sharing." And that was like, I don't know, like it felt like a lot coming off. So yeah, I'm glad I kept going back, and I kept sharing and sharing and sharing, and that's why I do what I do now. You got something that you want to talk about, we could talk about it. So
Right. I don't know what they're doing downstairs, but if I don't hold him, he will not stop barking because I can hear the doors like opening and shutting. So
oh, it's,
I'm
it's
sorry,
fine.
we have an unplanned
Yeah, no, it's
featured
fine.
guest.
It's fine. We're
I'm like,
digging
I
it.
don't know what to do. If I don't pick him up, he's not going to stop barking. So I figured it's just easier to bring him up here and keep him quiet. He's ridiculous. So, what was there any other, I guess, things that you did to help pull you out of that, to, like I know you said you wake up every day, thank you for waking up and stuff, but was there anything like when you sometimes maybe started to feel a little more down that you could turn to? Do you have anything else that like helped pull you up?
Um, so I also started journaling. That was another thing that helped out a lot. Even if you're not wanting to talk to somebody, it's still a form of getting it out. So like, writing in a journal, just saying what's going on. It's just a way to get whatever's on your mind out of your mind. So I did that. I streamed. Streaming helped out a lot because I had people that I could, literally come on here, chit chat with, and get my mind off of, all the other BS that was going on. Um, but yeah, that's those two things: journaled and streamed.
Nice. Nice. Oh, that's like it's hard to I don't know, like I don't know all the questions to ask with that one. That's why I'm like, this is a hard one, but I know that you're good at talking through it. So like you covered most of the stuff, all the questions that I did have, I should say.
When okay, let's flip the script here just for a second. What are some things that you do,
Oh,
Miss Silly Lily, whenever you are, going through it?
so for me, it's the meditation, it's the quiet time, it's the allowing myself the me time to think through it. Um, but being an overthinker, I've already thought everything in every way of every situation at any point with everyone for any time, everywhere they could possibly be thought of. So, that being said, I've learned to reach out to a friend. I've got like not a lot. I really have like one person that knows my everything. So boop, I will just message her, and she'll generally be like, you need to stop overthinking. You need to pull your head together. Like, just relax, go with the flow. Um,
Hard. It's hard because I'm an overthinker too. So no, I get that.
yeah, 100%. So like, it's for me, it's reaching out. I have dealt with everything alone.
Hmm.
I've dealt with everything alone. I never let people in. I never told people everything that was going on. And probably one of the biggest secrets I kept forever was that was hard, And then, of course, talking is not always easy, lots of crying. I cry a lot, happy, sad, mad, whatever. But
Have
at the
you
end, I feel
have
better.
you have you started to do that yet? Like, have you opened up yourself a little more to like
Mhm.
certain people?
Oh, I'm an open book on here. There's nothing they don't know now.
It feels so much better, right?
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah. You see, I'm an open book too. Um, and I used to be that guy. Like I locked myself in a room for like months, you know what I mean? And just sat in a dark room, and I had people reaching out to me wanting to help, and I would ignore them because I was that guy that handled stuff on my own. And then when I started sharing, it was like, this actually feels a little better than holding it all in. And so, that's when I started opening myself up more and being a little more vulnerable, because sometimes it works, sometimes it don't, but a lot of times it just feels good just to talk.
That's the being vulnerable. That's where my triggers start to come in. And once I
Yeah.
feel as though I've become vulnerable to you, it's like boom, 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 wall guarded, padded, locked. You know what I mean? Like throw away the keys. So we're still a work in progress over here.
I think we're all still a work in progress. Um, you know, we wouldn't be on this app if we weren't all work in progress.
I know,
So
right?
we all have our things that we're going through. So no, I get it.
Facts,
Get it.
facts,
So
facts. All right, Booyah. Before I let you go, please tell us if you have any other events, anything else coming up that we can come support you with.
I am so glad you asked because tomorrow night we have Connect 100. It's
Okay.
something that they did last month, and it was really dope. Um, it's basically a three-way fave party, right? So DJ Swift Hands is going to be in my box at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, all
Okay.
the way until 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Okay.
Okay.
He's also going to be in Angel Eyes' box at the same time. He's also going to be in Top Badge Mej's box at the same time. So it's a way for you to get your faves up. You can jump from stream to stream, get the faves that you need. If you're going for top badge or whatever it is, side badge, or if you want to stay at bottom badge, and you just want to get a couple
Nice.
new friends. But it's a three-way fave party. He's going to be DJing the entire time. Yeah, so we got that coming up tomorrow. Connect 100. And
All
then
right.
after that, we're gonna keep the party going. And I got DJ Celos coming into my
Nice.
box, and he's gonna keep
Nice.
keep it going. So
Yeah, I was asking him if he could hook me up with a little session. I still haven't celebrated my 2-year stream anniversary. It was April 2nd.
if you guys don't have DJ Celos faved, hit DJ Celos with a fave. He is one of the best DJs on this app. And if you guys ever need anything, all you have to do is reach out to him. That's my DJ.
Yeah.
That's my DJ. So yeah,
Well,
we
you're
got
gonna
that
have to
coming
share him a little bit
tomorrow.
there, Booyah. Hey.
Yeah, yeah. So y'all come hang out with us tomorrow. It's gonna be a good time. Get your faves up. So, and I appreciate everyone in the comments. It's the eyes for me.
All right, Booyah. Again, thank you so much. If you guys are just tuning in, you just missed Booyah Boy here. And we're talking about how time helps heal all wounds. I think is just the best way to sum that up. And that no matter how bad a situation you feel like you're in, if you just give it some time, things will get better. Um,
Hang in there. Hang
Got to
in
stay
there.
positive, reach out. But on that note, Booyah, I'll let you go. Thank you
Thank
so
you for
much
having me. I
again.
appreciate it. It's always a good time. I appreciate it so much.
Yes, thank you, Booyah Boy. We'll see you soon. We'll get you back
Yes,
on here in
ma'am.
like half a year or so.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, honey. Thank you so much. You have a good one. Where's my book? All right, guys. Well, thank you for tuning in to Lessons Learned. I'm Silly Lily. That was Booyah Boy. And up next is Lux. However, before Lux hops in the box, you guys, we're going to do a couple of self-care tips and questions. Now, my first question for you is, what did you do for yourself today? And Smiley, we know it's always coffee. Always, always coffee. Waking up. Mars. Healthy habits. Boy says I showered. Boop says breakfast. I made myself lunch. I don't eat breakfast. I have coffee for breakfast, but I did make myself my lunch already. I showered. I got ready. We did the show. I streamed. I've done a lot for myself today. I ate lunch for breakfast. That's not always a terrible thing, now is it? You get the calories, you get longer throughout the day to burn the calories. And let's see, question number 2. Do the people around you energize you? You got to have people around you that energize you. They got to push you a little bit. Anybody, you got to have the people that make you want to be the better version of yourself. that makes you push yourself to be better while you're pushing them to be better, you know? It's so important. So important. Well, yeah, Lux, kids are supposed to do that, but let's say the adults. Let's say the adults in our lives. I have very, very few people that I consider like in my inner circle. Like I have lots of friends. I have a very, very, very tiny inner circle. Very tiny. All right. And my last question before we go into a few tips is, what do you love about you? What is your favorite quality about yourself? Exactly, DJ. Smiley, you and your coffee. Booyah. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Again, thank you for all the favorites. Thank you for all the gifts. And even more importantly, thank you so, so much for your time. I appreciate all of you for being here. Lux, I'm going to give you 3 tips, babe, and then I'm going to have you hop in the box, all right? Respect. The hair blows in the wind when you're on the ferry on the front deck. I think for me, my dog is staring at me. Like, I gave you food. Why are you staring at me? I fed you before. I fed you before. I think it's my work abilities, my work ethic. I'm a hard worker. And I'm honestly probably one of the most upfront people you'll ever come across. We've got ambitious in there, resilience. I miss Jay's. All right, so self-care tips, you guys. Drink lots of water. I know, Smiley, you have to have your coffee, but make sure you're getting your water in there, you guys. Drink your water. Get your energy flowing. Get up, walk, go for a walk. If you like to dance, dance. If you want to go skating, go skating. If you just want to get up, get in the kitchen and do some cooking, get up and get your body moving. There's a body in motion stays in motion, right? A body in motion stays in motion. And we all know that get outside in nature. We all know that's a big one that I preach on the regular. But I'm feeling like right now we need to hear practice daily gratitude. It's important in maintaining a positive mindset. If you have a notebook bedside, every night you can write down 3 things you're grateful for. Every night. If you write nothing else, write down 3 things that you were grateful for that day. We look so often at the negative that we don't even focus on the good, you know? And I actually have done, I do this being an overthinker. I do this all the time. You've got to rewire your brain to be positive, because if you only dwell on the negative stuff and all these what ifs, you're missing out on the right here and the right nows. So I guess my last tip is start living in the moment. Be here, be now, be present. Whatever you're dealing with, it can't be fixed right this second. So enjoy that time with your kids. Go visit your grandma and have a picnic. It's the little things, guys. Be present. Lux, are you ready? James, thank you for the favorite. If you guys are just tuning in, you miss Booyah Boy. You need to make sure you smash him with the favorite. He's got some massive fave party going on tomorrow from 7 to 9 p.m. 100 something. My brain, I'm sorry, goldfish out there. I whatever. Okay, but Booyah Boy, make sure you favorite Booyah Boy. Okay, go see him tomorrow right there. Smash, 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 Booyah. Well, that you're gonna be a busy man, but if that's what you want, I'd say hit the favorite. But I mean, it's crazy. You're all are crazy. Connect 100. There it is. There it is. But you guys, we're gonna go ahead. We're going to let Lux in the box, and we're gonna thank you for being here, Lux. How are you?
Hi, good. Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're very, very welcome. Thank you for being here. So go ahead and give these folks a little detail on what we're going to be talking about.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you. And it's an honor to follow Booyah Boy. Booyah Boy is amazing, and it's amazing to see even more layers of this amazing person. So, yeah,
Right?
to Booyah Boy. And thank you for having me. We haven't hung out before, so this is really nice. And what a great idea for a show. I love that you were talking about gratitude, because I think that sort of leads into what I wanted to talk about. And that was the time that I spent homeless, the time that I spent hitchhiking and just out in the world for 6 months. I had a hard time coming up with a topic because I wasn't sure what I wanted to talk about. I felt like things more recent would be more relevant, like the mom stuff and the relationships and things, and but I feel like I just wanted to step back and talk about something else that was like the foundation of how I became me. So
right, yeah.
So thank you.
I think it's, you're welcome. I think it's important, and that's kind of why I do some shows where I do topics and stuff like that. But for the most part, I like to let you guys try to pick your topics, or at least be involved in something you're genuine about, because it allows other people can see that, right? Other people know when you're talking about something you're passionate about, and I feel like that's really how we are able to get our messages across and help each other. So I guess let's dive into this.
Okay.
Give us a little background.
Sure, I'll give you a little Reader's Digest condensed version of my adventure. So I spent 6 months hitchhiking across Canada. I live in Winnipeg, so I'm central Canada. So I hitchhiked out to the west coast and just kind of went wherever the wind took me. I ended up there because I had my first place. This was when I was 17. I'm 41 now, but this was so significant that it's stories that I still tell like 20 years later. So I started out with my first apartment. I was 17. I dropped out of school to work at a gas station because school just didn't feel, I was like, I could be working. I could be doing this. So I went off my first apartment, and then things went awry with my job. So I lost my job, and then I was evicted from my apartment. And then I was confronted with this decision, like, do I go back home and live with my mom? Or do I go out into the world? And I'd been hanging out with a bunch of street kids, actually. So I was like, well, what do I do? And, oh, yeah, I'm right out. I'm just going to finish. Okay.
It's okay.
So I decided, my joys here.
Can I put that?
Yeah, go ask. Yeah, you can. So I decided to head out into the world.
Can you get that snack?
Yeah, go ask your sister.
Live.
Thank you so much. Yeah, all the same. Sorry. So I decided, like, my mom and I don't have the best relationship, which is part of the reason that I was out on my own at 17. So that's not where I wanted to put myself again, mom life. So I took everything, I put it in storage. I put a bunch of stuff in my backpack, and I just headed out into the sunset. And I had known a bunch of kids who were hanging out. We have a place called Osborne Village here, and this is where all the homeless kids kind of hang out and congregate. So I headed down there. I spent the first night sleeping in a park, and it was amazing. It was incredible just to leave all the material world kind of behind. Like bills didn't matter, bedtime didn't matter. Like you go to sleep when the sun goes down, and you're surrounded by others like that. And so this led to meeting other people who were traveling. So I met someone from Florida and he was hitchhiking around. So I joined him and another couple, and we headed out to the West Coast. And that's when we discovered like a whole like underground of travelers, which was absolutely incredible.
What do you think was like, what do you think ultimately, I don't know how to ask this. I don't want to word it wrong. I guess we'll just change it. What do you think the biggest thing it taught you with being out there? You know, because I know it's hard. Like, it can't be easy. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like it's necessarily a preference. Like, I love backpacking. I love being out in nature. I love the limited resources. I love leaving things, but I also know that I have them to go back to.
Right.
I've never been in a situation where, I mean, I've had to sleep in a park bench or whatnot. So I guess this is just one of those I don't know about it topics. So I don't know what's okay to ask. I'm forgetting I'm hiding.
Ask away. And it was
I mean, what was probably the scariest part for you? That's probably the best way to ask what I'm trying to ask. What do you think the scariest thing for you was when you realized that this was about to be your life for a little bit?
Well, it was exciting actually to leave everything behind. I think the scariest parts were when it started to get hard, like when it started to get cold. In November, it starts to get chilly. So that was it wasn't fun anymore. You know, it was more survival then. And I think that's when I learned the greatest things was gratitude and appreciation, because I always like to joke, you know, when we have a problem, like I couldn't log into my POF, you know, like first world problems, right? But when you're there, like it's just survival problems, like you're hungry that day or you're cold that day, or you know, it's just your very, very basic needs that might not be met. And so you appreciate things. Like I remember I didn't have soap for a while, so when you get soap to have a shower, like have you ever had a shower without soap? It's so different. Like it makes you appreciate this, like the tiniest things that we take for granted on the daily. So I think that's when it really got scary. And I actually tried to go hitchhike through the States, but I didn't make it because I got arrested at the border. And I ended up in jail for 2 weeks. And then I hitchhiked back to Canada after. So I was sort of stuck in Vancouver. And then when you get stuck in Vancouver as a street kid, it's not the greatest place. And that also made me appreciate what I have at home, because I was able to phone my mom and say, like, I'm done with this life. Like, can I please come home? But so many of those street kids don't have that option, right? They're there because, you know, their homes aren't something they can go back to. And they just have to do their best to live that life. And so I think that was really scary. And there was one moment where, like, we would panhandle, like we'd spare change or some leftovers, so people would give us food or money. We panhandled outside a bar one night. We made $100. Someone gave me a bushel of helium balloons. It was a wild night. So I was selling balloons. And then we went to get a room for the night, but it was $50 for just this small room. And I remember instead, we decided just to go get some drugs. So we're just going to stay up all night and do these drugs. And I remember in the morning, I kind of like came to, like everything just kind of like became clear. There's like a pipe coming out of the ceiling. I'm in like this room above a bar, and I'm like, what am I doing? What am I doing? You know? And I called my mom that day, and then in like a few weeks, I was home and on my way to a new life.
Good. That was going to be my next question. What was the moment where you were like, okay, we got to fix this, you know? Because at first, like you said, you were kind of excited to try something new, you know, venturing out there. But then the realities of the struggles and the things that we take for granted when they're not there, you know? And again, my thing was just a backpacking trip. Like I was one weekend, like I was going to be okay in 48 hours, you know? And even though like one night we didn't have fire the first night, even though we had a little thing, I could still cook food. I was cold. And so like, these are all things I'm thinking like, but I had the choice to go, you know, I just, it's scary to me. That is probably like the biggest fear that I had, is having to do things like alone and out there. Like it's one thing alone and it's another thing alone and out there.
Right. And there's lots of places to help and things to help and people who hitchhiked when they were younger who are buying you food and helping. But there's still those moments where you're like so cold you can't get warm, or you're like so hungry but nothing's like available. And
Yeah. So if you had one bit of advice to somebody that may be in the situation you were in then, what would that be?
you know what? That's a good question, because I wouldn't want to like take that experience away, because it's incredibly humbling. Um, I think in the Hindu religion, there's a part where people go around and beg, and just for that humbling experience. Um, so in terms of advice to myself, I would say, just like keep your head up, and there's people out there that care for you, because I think that's what you need to know, is like when it feels so alone, things can feel so alone. You can feel so lonely, and we kind of forget that we do have people there. Um, so I think just remembering that there is people there, and when you really need them, just kind of like reach out, and like someone's gonna grab your hand. There's gonna, yeah.
I like that. Okay. So, if you guys are just tuning in, this is Lux. I'm Silly Lily, and you're watching Lessons Learned. And we're talking about how Lux actually she was 17, you said, right? And ended up kind of living
I
out
was 17, yeah.
in nature, just put herself out there and went
Yeah.
with nature. And that's scary to me, but like it happens to lots of people, and I know that there's people going through some of these situations now, and for me it's just thank you for being willing to share, because I know somebody who is personally going through this, and they're too stubborn to accept help.
Oh,
So
right. And just be there, like you're the anchor in the storm for them,
and I'm
maybe buy them a
99%
sandwich
sure
or
they're lurking in here somewhere. So like, I may
I
or
get
may not
advice
have
if you
been
need any
like,
advice.
you
I'm
need to
here.
be here for this show. Because I love that you said that you're not alone, because I think that's been this individual's biz. I'm alone. There's nobody here, and I'm like, well, who the hell am I, right? Like, what am I?
Right.
Like, I can't help you. I'm not anywhere near even an area to help you, and I don't have the funds to cover my own butt most of the time. So, but I'm still here. I'm still your friend, and you're not alone.
Yes,
So
that
you
means so
saying
much.
that
Yeah.
is huge. And I like the humbling. I like that you brought up how it humbles you so. And I would think that it gives you the like a nice feeling of like you can accomplish so much more than you ever thought to, right? Like if you can get out there and you
Yes.
can face the world with literally nothing but the stuff in a backpack, and now,
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. And we did it, and it was amazing. Like you were talking about nature. Like that was one of the greatest things, was just being in nature. Like you go to sleep in nature, you wake up in nature, like it's such a different feeling. You wake up and you breathe in the fresh air. Like always being in fresh air always is so different. Like,
Yeah. It really is, right? Like, I
yeah.
don't know, like I live in an apartment. It's always dusty. I'm always stuffy. Like I love to be outside. In the summertime, I'm very rarely inside. I want to be outside if possible. I don't know. Is there anything else you wanted to touch on any of that stuff? Was there any like crazy, funny, wild story you want to share with us?
Sure. Okay. It's funny because I love telling these stories, and that's why I want to talk about it, because I still tell these stories into different stories. One of the most interesting, I think, is at night. So I had a great hitchhiking experience. The weirdos come out at night is what I experienced.
No. Weirdos come out at night. Yeah.
The weirdos come out at night. Yeah, we had this one guy who gave us a ride, and he was like really intense. Like he's like, look at all the cars, they're driving here, what are they doing? And then my buddy, we were in a pickup, so my buddy's in the passenger and I'm right beside him in the middle, and I was like, oh no. So my buddy kind of leans against the window, pretends to fall asleep. So now it's just me and the weirdo. I'm like, what am I gonna do? So one thing I learned is that you have to be as weird as the weirdo. You don't have to match their weirdness, kind of, you know what I mean? Like people that are like themselves. So I just talked exactly like him. I was like, how are these cars in your way? How are you supposed to do anything? Blah, blah, blah. I'll hold these binoculars. They're in the way. By the end of the drive, he liked me so much. He wanted to buy us lunch or dinner or whatever time it was. It wasn't lunch because it was night, but
Right.
But we got out of there real quick. I was like, no, thank you. Bye.
Yeah. All right. So Lux, thank you for being willing to share that. Is there anything else that you wanted to add to that I didn't ask? Or want to talk about any events you have coming up? Anything else you've got going on?
Oh, sure. Yeah. Well, to end it, I think I would just mention that, just to have that compassion for homeless people, because sometimes, we just see them on the side of the road and, they're like almost like the dirt on the side of the road. Like I was called street trash so many times that it starts to get in your mind. So, you don't have to give them money, even just saying hello, like have a good day, like acknowledging that they're people, I think can be important. Extra, buy a sandwich, an apple, a drink or something,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
My daughter.
So, but for me,
my daughter.
For me, I have sandwiches, so I'm excited. What's that?
No, my daughter and I at one point made little care packages. Like we took 1 gallon Ziploc bags and we went to the Dollar Tree, and when everything was still $1, and you bought a deodorant and a toothbrush and a toothpaste and some soap,
Yes.
and then we'd get a snack and a bottle of water or 2 in there, and then if they had animals, we would have one for the dogs, but we didn't do that for too long because that one ended up getting really expensive because it turns out we like the dogs better than the people. I'm sorry, okay?
Oh,
I'm
right.
sorry.
Oh, that's awesome.
But
that's so nice. I love
that. Unfortunately, times get tough and it's not something we're able to do now, but it was one of those things that it was nice to show her how other people react to these things that she didn't even realize were important. You know?
Right. Yeah.
She's like, Mom, it's bathroom stuff. And I'm like, and watch these people's faces.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like having no soap for a shower, because you take that for granted, right? You're like, well, everybody has soap, right? But like when you don't have it, and then to have it again, it just means so much. Like those little things mean so much.
Yeah. So that was something we did. She's seen someone do it somewhere, and she made me do it. Oh God, she did do chores. I will admit, she did do chores to earn some of the money. Okay, so she did work her little butt off for y'all for some of this stuff, right? But yeah, no. Do you have any events that you've got coming up? Any auctions? When do you stream?
Yeah, right on. Well, you can usually find me about 1 a.m. Eastern, just about every night for The Late Show. So feel free to join us. Wednesday, technically Thursday because it's late. Yeah, right? We do a tic-tac trivia. So feel free to join us for that. And my upcoming, I'm in Kitty Commander's Fives battle on the 5th. So
nice.
That should be really fun. And
those are
other
fun.
than that, yeah, I love fives because I feel like I can pull up, I feel like I have ammunition. Usually I go to a battle and I have my little gun here.
But videos.
Right? Exactly.
Right? We can all watch enough videos that day to partake in a fives battle. Hello.
Ooh,
Let's
right?
go. All right, Lux. Thank you so much for being on here. Thank you to you and Booyah Boy both. Very touching, motivational stories from both you guys. So thank you very much. I will let you hop out of the box, and we are going to
thank you. Thanks for telling me when to go. I appreciate that.
Thank you. Bye. Oh my God, but really quick, everybody, and I can't believe I have to do this on a featured show, but Tawny, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Tawny. Happy birthday to you. Sorry. I'm sorry you all had to hear that, but it has to be done. It's her fault. Okay. So anyways, happy birthday, Tawny. God. First featured show live singing. Okay. First featured show live singing. Tawny, I hope you have the best day and the best weekend. I'm trying to find my card. I put it somewhere for the Q&Q. But Jay, as we all know, that is the very last thing I do, and I still have 4 more minutes to talk about. So, if any of you, where is it, have a show that you like to watch every single week and you tune in for it, I would like for you to spam it in the comments right now. I know Matthew, sorry, has his shows, Forgiveness Culture, 10 p.m. on Wednesdays. I know at noon today, Boss Bro has his show. I know that tomorrow night, Triple L has her show at 7 p.m. Sunday, Good Listener has her show at 6 p.m. Artman has his new featured show Wednesdays at midnight. So it's technically Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, not Wednesday into Thursday like I thought. And had he not told me earlier that day, I would not have been there. I would have been sounded asleep. So make sure you all know it's Tuesday night going into the Wednesday midnight, not like, so it's like Tuesday night, Wednesday morning. Moody has a featured show Wednesdays at 11 p.m. Moody's an imposter. Let's see, guys. Anybody that was here, I want to thank all of you for favorites, for gifts, but most importantly, for your time. I know that's one thing you can't get back. This dog needs my foot up his butt. Have you heard him the whole time? He drives me nuts. Moody, this is not the time nor the place to be demanding things. Please and thanks. You know better. For the love of God. And if you think I'm not going to call you out for it, that's even crazier. Yes, and Silly Lily show is here every Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. God, I'm going to come in there and do this stuff to you, Moody. Just watch. Just watch. All right, but for our Q&Q before I head out of here, you guys, we're not going to answer this now. We're not going to answer this now. I'm going to be sleeping for your featured shows. Are you crazy? The future is called perhaps, which is the only possible thing to call the future. And the important thing is not to allow that to scare you. Would you stop? Now go lay down. Go lay down. Anyways, what one thing about the future scares you? The future is called perhaps, which is the only possible thing to call the future. And the important thing is not to allow that to scare you. What one thing about the future scares you? Not now. Answer it in the future. Answer it next Friday. You're going to answer that next Friday. You guys, thank you for being here. I think we're over.